Welcome to the Fermented Homestead. If you're new here, my name is Anna, and on this channel I'm sharing our journey of learning how to turn our home into a homestead. Today we have a couple different things going on. This is kind of our weekly garden vlog, and what I'm doing today is actually recovering the greenhouse. When I originally built the greenhouse, I just went and bought the whatever transparent kind of film, you know, the quote-unquote transparent film that they had at the farm store, and I've been using that since last year. And I was looking up different supplies online for greenhouses, and I was noticing that all the greenhouses, like, you can basically see through them. And then I finally put two and two together when I realized that my seedlings really aren't growing once I put them out in the greenhouse. Like, they'll do great inside, and then as soon as I put them outside, they just don't thrive very well. And so I went online, Bootstrap Farmer, and I ordered me a new plastic sheeting, basically, from Bootstrap Farmer. And so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna install this real quick today. And the greenhouse itself, you can see it's built, like it's there. All I have to do is cut off the old greenhouse plastic and recover it with the new. I'm not going to worry about the doors, the windows. Those are just going to have to stay. Maybe someday I will, but so we have that, and I have enough to do two. So if you noticed that we walked by, I don't even know if I showed it, but there's another greenhouse right up by the front door where we came from, and so someday I might recover that. I did buy enough to do both. But for now, we're just gonna go ahead and get through this really quick, and then we'll show you what's next. Wow, I'm so blown away how clear it is. Why on earth did I let go that much time go by before replacing it? Because I didn't notice. I thought it was normal. Okay. So basically my goal is to get one of the corners right along the door jamb on that far side. I guess instead of more of a time lapse, I'll show you what I'm doing. Because wrapping a greenhouse by yourself is not very easy. My husband would help, and he has helped with the other ones, but he's at work, so, and I want to get this done. Okay, so you can see we have the corner piece right here. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to staple it right here where the door meets, because everything needs to come together in the center door jamb area on both sides. So all I'm going to do is just staple it in. I'm sure there's better ways of adhering it to here, but this is what I do. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run the length of this plastic sheeting along the base all the way around on this half of the greenhouse, and that'll kind of give me a better understanding of how straight this thing is. So, or not a better understanding, it'll help me keep it straight. So next, what I do with this part of it is I just kind of pull it to get it as tight as I can. It's gonna be loose no matter what I do. At least from the two that I've wrapped, it was pretty loose, and I feel like I got it pretty tight, but just coming in and pulling it down and stapling it on, and then I'll come back later and add more staples. Now's the hard part, cutting it at the end. All right, we're back on the end, and what we're gonna do is to finish off this piece, we're just gonna keep pulling it Oops, staple gun came undone. So we're just going to pull it and try and keep it as straight as possible. It's not a big deal whatsoever if you don't. It's just a matter of how neat you want it to actually look. So I forgot to hit record, but basically all I did was I just took the plastic and I pulled it tight all the way up and I stapled it to about here. Did the same thing on the other side. So next what we're going to do to get this cut off at the kind of the appropriate length is I'm just going to take it on the outside of this 2x4, which I don't need it to go any further in here. I'm just going to take it and just cut it. There we go. I already did it on the other side before I realized I wasn't recording. Okay. And then, since we have it mostly kind of disconnected here, we're just going to keep taking it and pulling it. It's not going to be straight and flat anymore. And it's going to be all kind of crinkled and wrinkled. So you just have to kind of, can you see this okay? Yeah. So you're just going to have to kind of pull it as best as you can and try and get it as neat as you care to get it. That's kind of my plan with this. All right, so now we have the tarp off completely, and we're just going to kind of keep snugging it up. One thing that I forgot to mention when I was doing this on the other side is when you have these flaps, you want to make sure that the flaps are, so the rain will just wash off of them and it won't pool up inside there, because that's just a recipe for nasty mold and mosquitoes, and you just don't want that. So I can't remember if I did it on the other side, so I might have to go fix it. If I do, it's not a big deal, but I just wanted to make sure that I pointed that out because that's very important. That's how I wrap a greenhouse solo. I hope that gave you some ideas or some tips, or even just the encouragement that you can do it yourself if you want to. We are on to our next project, and the next one is going to be a big one. It's one I have been putting off, but it is one that I can't put off any longer because I need to be able to use this space here. Basically what I need to do with this is there's a bunch of hay here and I need to rake it up and haul it out of here, or just rake it up beyond the space that I need to clear, and I can clear that out later. And then what I need to do is come through, I need to broadfork everything. I need to fill in all the holes with some soil just to make sure that there's not too many dips and divots and stuff from the chickens. And then I need to kind of lay down some compost / soil just to make it a little bit of a better surface to plant in. And then all that we need to do after that, there's a lot to this. This is a really big area. It's down at the bottom, it's 26 feet wide, and up at the top it is about 17 feet wide, I think. I measured it, pretty sure it's 17 feet. Probably about 70 or 80 feet long. And it's downhill. So basically, and then down at the bottom it's a hill that slopes down. I know you can't see that very well on camera, but it's a pretty good slope. It's not anything crazy or anything that would make you not want to plant in it, but it definitely makes me need to plant with permaculture type whatever, planting with the slope. I'm going to be planting in this direction, whereas if I didn't have the slope here and it was all just flat, I probably would plant it north-south. But I have the slope, so I'm just going to go with the slope, and we're going to raise the beds, go in this direction. Not build the beds, but prepare the beds going kind of this direction. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to clean up as best as I can, and then we're going to get started. So it's going to be a lot of work. There's definitely one of my least favorite things to do. They're so big. Get the small one if you get it. Don't get the big one. So I think after doing pretty much 2 almost full rows of the broadforking, I'm realizing just how rocky my soil actually is, and I think that this is just not a viable plan. It's just, there's too many rocks, and it's taking forever to get all this stuff out of here. So I think my plan is just going to be to just add a little more soil than I had originally planned, and plant in that. I'm just gonna have to do it on top and kind of set up the rows from there. So unfortunately, I think that broadfork might have been, at least for now, just not gonna work. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and do a couple of rows here just as kind of like a prototype, just to see how it works getting it set up, and then and just kind of go from there. We'll see how it goes. I got the first row set up in our new in-ground garden. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue doing it this way. I may go to the landscape supply and pick up a couple truckloads of just straight compost and use that instead. I'm not sure, and I might end up continuing to do this. We'll see how it goes. But we got one of them done, so I'm pretty excited about that. It's starting to rain, so I'm gonna just do a quick little cleanup out here, bring you inside, and then I will meet you back inside where we're gonna be planting a bunch more of our starts, and I'll show you which ones we're doing. So I got everything wrapped up outside, and now I'm ready to just finish the evening inside. And one other thing I don't think I showed you this weekend in the gardening-ness, because I was outside in the rain all day yesterday, and it was just pouring down rain, so I didn't bring you guys along, but I did end up the flower beds that are down on the edge that we built last week. Those ones I went through and covered the bottoms of each one with some of the chicken wire, and so got those, and then Robert filled in a couple of them with dirt, and so those ones are just needing to be topped off with dirt, and then we're done with them. And then and what I did last night was I figured out all the seeds that I'm going to be starting, and I made tags for all of them, so every single one is going to have a tag, and I did all the math and things. I'm going to be doing 3 different trays of the 72 cells. I'm going to show you here real quick. So I have everything lined up here. This one is going to be a lot higher number. These are going to be all of the squashes, the summer squashes, and a lot of the larger squashes that I don't plan on growing a lot of them. And then here are some of the ones that I will be growing a lot of them, like butternut and what's the other one? Delicata, sorry, butternut, delicata, ones that we like a lot more of, as well as a lot of the cucumbers. I'm going to be growing a lot of those. And then here we have the melons and the ground cherries. I think that's all that's here. And so each one of these stacks is going to be a tray. If you guys are interested, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to show you all of the varieties that I'm going to be starting out today. And so we have a Lowen family heirloom. It's ground cherries, and then we have just regular ground cherries, and of course Aunt Molly's. And we have some tiger melons, whichever, from Steiber's Homestead recommended that, so I figured I'd give it a try. Kujari melon, that one obviously, and the Hiku chrysanthemum from Roots and Refuge Farm, they recommend that one. Then we have some sugar baby watermelon, banana melon, a Minnesota midget cantaloupe, Canary Yellow, Golden Midget Watermelon, Prescott Fond Blanc, and Rich Melon Sweetness number 132. Kazaa Melon. This one I just saw online and it looked really interesting. It looks like an apple, but it says it grows 3 or 4 inch round melons are very sweet, crisp, and crunchy. They have edible skins and perfect for marketing. So I thought these ones looked really neat, so I figured I'd give it a try. I'll let you know, obviously, in the fall how they are. But anyways, and then we have a Haugen melon. I don't know. So that's it for the melons. Okay, so with this tray that I just read you, I'm going to be growing 4 of most of them, except for these ones. The first one's up to the chrysanthemum melon. Those ones are going to be 5. And that's just because that's the number that is 72. And I picked the favorite ones that we were going to have a little bit more. All right, so these ones are going to be just 4 of each kind because it was just an even 4. So we have Boston pickling cucumbers, a white wonder, miniature white, a Marketmore, true lemon, Mexican sour gherkin, and then a lemon cucumber. There's only a couple in this package, so just however many I have in there, I'm going to grow that one. Be it Alpha, Japanese climbing cucumber, a double yield, Russian pickling. And then for the squashes, we have a delicata winter squash, another delicata, different, this one's Baker Creek. And then we have a honey boat squash delicata. Delicata is one of my husband's favorites, as well as the kabocha squash, so we're going to grow some of those. And then I have 3 different kinds of butternut squash. I have realized this last winter how much I really like butternut squash doing gaps, and it's the best tasting soup ever. Like, I could just eat it all day long. Waltham butternut squash from M.I. Gardner, as well as from Baker's Creek. And then we have an orange butternut squash from Baker Creek. And like I said, those ones are all going to be 4 of each. This one, there's a large number of them simply because I'm only doing 2 of each kind. And because I don't need any more than that. So we have, let's go from the back, shall we? Keep it in order here. So we have the Cinderella pumpkin and Valenciano. I don't have a clue how to pronounce that one. This one's new. I just got this one this year. And then we have a marble Yakima Marblehead Hubbard. And then just a blue Hubbard. Jumbo pink banana from Baker's Creek, and then a M.I. Gardner version of it. Those ones are pretty good. They're a little bit, they're not quite as sweet as I hoped they would be, and they're a bit watery, but other than that, they're not too bad. And then we have a golden Hubbard squash, Jardale pumpkin, Howden pumpkin, Connecticut field pumpkin, and then sweet dumpling. Those ones are really teeny tiny little ones, so they're good for like each person. They're kind of like acorn, but different. And then we have a sweet meat candy roaster, blue Hubbard. This one is the M.I. Gardner version, and this one's much smaller. It's actually one. I have one right there. They're delicious. Lakota squash, Tokyo blue, some spaghetti squash, and then we have buttercup squash, pardon me, and then a Table King acorn squash and an F1 Celebration hybrid acorn squash. Okay, and then we have a Table Queen winter squash. I'm not sure what the difference is between the Table King and the Table Queen, but we have a royal pair. And then we have a sugar pie pumpkin, New England sugar pie pumpkins. And we have Armenian yard long. It's like a white one, and then there's a green one. So I'm kind of excited about that one. I have some of those growing out in the greenhouse, but they're just not taking off. They're not thriving out there. And I think I burned them with my first attempt at fertilizing. So I didn't dilute it enough. I was supposed to dilute it to half of what it says. And I sprayed it directly on the leaves, and everything I sprayed just did not do very well. It burnt like it literally looks burnt. So they seem to be making a comeback, but we'll see. And then also replacing the greenhouse plastic. That should definitely help them take off. So, and then we have loofah squash and zucchino rapaconte. This one was really cool. I saw Jasper Roots and Refuge. She was growing these ones up the trellis, and they're like really long and really cool looking. Then we have yellow crookneck. Come on. A gray summer squash. Just a summer squash. Zucchini Romanesco. These ones are good, but I don't like them. They're not, like, they have really deep ridges on them, and it just makes it hard to peel. But, I mean, they're good. They're tasty. And then we have a Black Beauty. Just got that one this year. And then a Golden Summer Zucchini. And this one is a Rondinice and a Tondo something. This one is similar to this one, but it kind of differs in looks. It's kind of like the difference between like these two in looks. It's a very green, very light colored green that has a lot of white flecks on it. So I thought it was really neat looking, and I had to order it. Sorry, there's no picture of it, but anyways. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to get the soil ready to start planting all of these, and then I'm just gonna plow through it all. It should be a really quick process because I have all of the labels made on this. So I'm just gonna speed through these really quick, and then when I'm all finished, I'm gonna go ahead and show you the tomatoes that we have growing in the window over there with the grow lights under them. They are doing so incredible. I just have to show you. So stay tuned. I'll be right back and show you that. Alright, so we got all of the seeds started, and I'm super excited. So now I'm going to show you the tomatoes and the peppers. Sorry for the weird lighting. There's weird lights in here. So, how amazing are these things? I mean, these things are probably, 6 inches, maybe 5. And they are just doing amazing. I let them get a little bit dry, so they are still making a comeback here. But I watered them pretty good this morning, so. And just a couple of them kind of got fallen over, like this Napa Chardonnay. And so you can see, I mean, these things are just doing incredible. And you can definitely tell which ones that I have sprayed, or not sprayed, but have fertilized with the fish emulsion, and which ones I have not. So, there you go. And I'm gonna definitely make up the difference here. Oh, whatever was there, shriveled up and died, I guess. And there is the, what is that? Carolina Reaper. And so we're just, Robert's overwintering that in here. So you can see we got lots and lots and lots of goodness going on here. There's the peppers. Probably gonna pot those up some evening this week. Maybe even I'll do it with you guys next weekend. We'll see how much time I actually have. I hope you guys enjoyed this weekend worth of gardening. We got a bunch of stuff done and definitely got a much better game plan moving forward for the rest of this next couple of weeks and how I'm going to end up setting up the garden. And of course I had to show off all of these wonderful tomatoes. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you do, please do give it a thumbs up and remember to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time. Bye.